Okay, yep. She loves you, yeah, woo! I get Beatles hair. When I don't put product in it, I look like a mop top. This is as good as it's gonna get, because literally a half hour after I finish this TikTok live, I'm going to get a haircut. So it seems kind of silly to wash it and style it to then go have my hair, my head put in the sink. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hey, TikTok live again. Wanting to get a. Let me see if I get plants in the background here, even if it's a fake plant. There we go. We got a fake plant right there. I use the fake plants because. There we go. Hey, plant. Hey, Planterson. Welcome. So good morning, everybody. Kia, nice to see you. Equine Jules and Sarah and Lucy and another Beth. I am a Beth as well. PBJ, Cheryl, Susie, Spud, all sorts of folks. Good morning, good morning, good Monday morning. I cannot believe, I will share this with you guys. I don't know if you feel this way, but so we had a busy prior weekend, and then we had friends visit starting on Tuesday. And then so from Tuesday to Wednesday, we had friends over, and then the whole 4th of July weekend, I am kind of agog that it is July 8th right now. To me, this feels like it should be July 1st, and there should be this like mystery bonus week between June 30th and the 1st where we just have a holiday. So this is really, I feel like I'm kind of getting back in the swing of things, and we're already 1 week into July. So isn't this crazy? Yeah, 1138, you've been off TikTok while vacationing. Happy to see you too. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Abbott Elementary, you are here. Literally, it's 9:03. Sometimes I think the TikTok just, it's a mystery. But there we go, Bonnie Farr, get out of bed, start your day. Yeah, it's just crazy to me to realize we're already 1 week into July, which means we're already into, not to freak you out, but just to kind of put things into perspective, we are now into like the second half of the year of 2024. I hope you're having fun. I hope seriously that you're living the life you want to live and having a good time. I hope that your house is looking good and feeling good and it's wicked easy to take care of. I'm pretty much all those things are things that are good for me, so I am hoping the same for you. We have had so much fun already this year, getting good stuff done. House is easy to take care of. We go on vacation, it's easy to pack. We come home, it's easy to unpack. We are welcomed home with, some dust. But it's you come home and go, not ugh. All right, here we go. So, if your house is a total wreck, says Azriel, and pardon me if I mangle anybody's names, if your house is a wreck, I am here to help you. And the first thing I want to just easily peasily tell you about, and I am Beth, I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. And I'm here to tell you, you can do something about it, okay? Okay, Beth and Azriel, your house is a total wreck. The cool thing is, though, you can do something about it. I want to empower you. Here, have some power. I've got plenty of it. I can share it. You can do something about it. Good morning, Wendy Rose Artist. Very cool to see you. If your house, there are things in the world you can't control, but you can control, and you can do something about the amount of items in your home, which is really all that clutter is items in your home that you don't want anymore. And the quantity of the items that are remaining in your home and the quality of the items that are remaining in your home. It can be that easy. Now, I know, because I'm a decluttering life coach, not just, all you need to do is get rid of the stuff you don't like. Meh. I know it isn't that easy, but it's not as difficult as you may think. It really isn't. So I want to calm down your loving, awesome nervous system inside you to let you know this is not going to be as painful as you think. And the benefits, the long-term benefits outweigh the short-term expenditure of time and mental effort to get yourself decluttered. And when you do it the right way and you learn what your habits are that got you cluttered, you can then change your habits so that you don't reclutter your home. There we go. Cat Mama said, worked in my den for several hours Saturday with the YouTubes on. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know you're watching the YouTubes. That wasn't even my idea. For those of you who just are tuning in, all of these TikTok lives that I do are recorded, and I upload the recordings to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. In case, like, when I go on vacation or I travel, or I'm just kind of, as I like to call myself, off the digital grid, that you have some support and just something to kind of keep you company while you're doing your decluttering. It helps. It helps to know you're not alone. I mean, trust me. Actually, the video I did yesterday, it was so funny. The video I did yesterday, sitting out of my car, talking about, seriously, you guys, writing it down, getting it done. This is me today. This is my today, getting stuff done. Got a lot of people liking it and watching it and things like that. So you're not alone if you're struggling with clutter. You're not alone. You can do this. I'm here to help you. It's that simple. But you got to participate. So this is kind of fun too, because I love this part. This is like when I'm doing coaching. I say, well, you know, like, I think of coaching kind of like as a combo of your co-pilot on a road trip. I'm teaching you something you probably haven't learned before. Again, I'm looking at my car, so I think of like a driver's ed teacher. Driving is a skill you're not born with, a skill you learn from people. You've probably observed people all your life before you got your license. You were in a car, you were a passenger, you got driven everywhere, you noticed people doing it, you saw it on TV. But until you do it yourself, until you get taught, you really don't know how to do it. I think of decluttering as the same way. Decluttering is a life skill. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And I love this. Muse of the Poet says, mostly declutter, but still love the inspiration. Let me hit you with this inspiration, because this is the thing I love about the way I look at coaching and decluttering, is it is a life skill that is not just about the stuff in your house. It's about the stuff in your life. It's about approaching life saying, what do I want? And doing the things to get it. And approaching life and saying, what do I not want in my life, and taking steps to remove those things from your life, or better yet, not even letting them in the first place. So the wonderful thing about decluttering is the same process. Do I want this in my life? Cool. Where does it go? Do I want this in my life? No. How quickly can I get it out of there? You know? All right. So notice this. Okay, yeah, my life is cluttered. Yeah, your life probably is cluttered. A cluttered house means that you just have habits of saving things, buying things, not having a home for them, getting out of the habit. And sometimes when that's, it can pile up. It piles up. I grew up in a cluttered home. We used to pile up papers all the time. Paper piles on the side. I mean, literally, there was a permanent pile on the side of the kitchen table and on the counter and in the dining room. We never dined there. It was just where my dad dumped his stuff when he got home from work. It happens to all of us. Okay. I am reading. Sweetheart Meg says, I take care of my things and clothes really well. Awesome. Go you. What do I do with perfectly good things when decluttering? Donate them somewhere. If you don't want something, that's okay. If you no longer want some of the things you have, there's somebody out in the world who may want what you have. I speak of this from both ends of it because I donate stuff all the time. I have many places in my town and in my area that I can donate stuff, but also, seriously, if I was inside, I could point out every single thing in my house that I got from a thrift store, or I trash picked, or I bought on Facebook Marketplace, or I got on eBay. When I buy used things, I have all my life, vintage, whatever you want to call it, has been owned by somebody else, you know? So, yep, Jackie Condon, don't worry, I just started at 9 o'clock. I'll be here for another 50 minutes. Muse of the Poets, paper and mail is my kryptonite. You and many other people. I just recently did a paper party. It was kind of fun. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to charge just a smidge of money for it because that will help people show up. It also gets you into, not blowing it off. And what we did basically was we all sat down at the same time. Now, it was in Zoom. So you're at your house, I'm at my house, everybody's wherever they are. And we just kind of committed to spending an hour going through our paper, doing stuff like mail, opening up the mail and seeing what it is, putting as much as you can into the recycle bin, deciding then, do I need to keep, or do I need to file what I have historically filed? There's a process, a simple process I explain to people with that. So Muse of the Poets, I just want to offer, I don't know if you're on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. If you are, you have access to the recording of that. That was the paper party. I don't know if the recording is going to be as beneficial as showing up live, but somebody asked me, was I going to record it? And I said, why not? So if you're on the mailing list, you have access to that recording until the end of this month. If you're not on the mailing list and you want to get on the mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join. Pretty easy. When you had the time of the bandwidth, you sold perfectly good clothes on Poshmark. Yes, but notice when you sell clothes. Now, trust me, I've been on both sides. I have sold stuff and made money. I want to spend my time and bandwidth on other things. So I get really comfortable with donating my stuff. There we go. I am here. I am here for you, Steph. I am here for everybody who's struggling with clutter because I did it myself. I did too. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me. And I honestly, decluttering is kind of my love language. It is. Because I know people struggle with it and it's easy for me, but only because I learned skills and I wasn't taught it growing up. But some of the things I fell into organically as a Gen Xer out of college, like, I worked at Pier 1 Imports as a visual merchandiser. And even if I wasn't visual merchandising, every night before we closed the store, you had to front and face and tidy things up. So when you came in the morning, things were nice and neat. You can get into the habit of doing that in your own home. Habits. Also, some of the declutter, I know people just don't know how to do it. I know how to do it, so I just want to teach you how to do it, so then you have the skill too. It is a skill. It is a learned skill. Anybody can do it. Now, I say all this stuff that's easy, but please know, I know that your head and your heart affect what your hands do, and so notice, this wonderful thing, Catherine Rogers just posted, she says, I never felt comfortable. Notice, feeling comfortable, feeling comfort. I never felt comfortable selling anything, so I just donate. Notice where your comfort level stops you from doing certain things. I had one yard sale when I was moving, So notice where your comfort level with things creeps in. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but just notice where you're not comfortable doing it. I will say this, one of the things I've learned is if I don't see the reason for me doing it, if I don't see the value in it, I'm not going to do it. If I don't see what's in it for me, I am not going to do it. I have to be convinced that there's something in it for me. So at a certain point, it was kind of fun. I used to sell on eBay all the time. When eBay first was invented, I was a very early adopter because I used to go thrifting all the time. And so I had fun at the beginning, selling stuff and making money off of the things that I bought for a little and sold for a lot. It was, as I like to say, it was fun until it wasn't. And then the more complicated it got, the more steps, the more this, the more that, the back and forth. It was taking me too long to make the money, and it took the fun out of it. So it could work for you. There's so many ways you can declutter, but just notice that you're going to do the stuff that feels easy, feels comfortable, and you're going to avoid the things you're not going to do, the things that make you uncomfortable. There's no right or wrong, Yeah, Erin says, I just flashed back to my days at American Eagle Outfitters. The straightening up at clothes was drudgery, and it probably was. Yeah, God, fronting and facing brass candlesticks and votive candles and straightening up placemats, yeah, not too exciting. However, getting into the habit of doing that when you were then coming back, I used to close at night and open in the morning. Being able to start the day and hit the ground running, that all you needed to do was unlock the door and, turn on the cash registers in the music, helps you sets the tone for the day, because during the day stuff does accumulate. So it can be kind of drudgery, but it's like, okay, I'm going to do this now, because I had to, because it was a job, but also the benefit is the next day, it's like tidying up your house at night Means when you wake up in the morning, your house is a little bit neater and it feels good. And starting the day feeling good kind of could set the tone for your day. Yeah. There you go. Cat Mama has learned to sell online. That's awesome. Okay. User 34299. I inherited a bunch of collectibles. Where is the best place to sell them? Depends on what they are. It does. What I would recommend, seriously, I would recommend this to everybody. Everybody who is holding on to something that you think is worth money. Do some research today. Today, do some research. Look up the stuff that you have that you think is worth money on the internet. Go to eBay. Go to completed sales. Don't go and see what they asked for and see what they got. Then see what it is. If it's a breakable thing, if it's easy to ship, you might want to do it online. If it's heavy and cumbersome and you don't want to, if it's cloudy and cumbersome, if it's heavy and you don't want to ship it, maybe you find a local place to sell things. It really depends. I coach people from all over the country, so the resources available to you are going to be the resources that are different from me. Okay. Yes, completed, and Beth says completed sales is the key. Don't see it. I mean, this is classic. So I used to go antiquing with my parents, typically my dad, and we would go out to Brimfield, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're charging that much more. And my dad was like, they are asking that much, but they may not get it. Just because they're asking that much doesn't mean they're going to get it, because you're going to see astronomical prices. But it depends on what it's worth to you if you're going to be selling it. Yeah, there we go. Erin is saying another Erin, donating versus selling has helped me declutter. Only selling large items like furniture now. Yeah, because it takes you pretty much the exact same amount of time. I want you to think about this when you're thinking of selling things. Regardless of the item, it will take you, and this is where my process engineer brain comes into play, because I'm a Gen Xer. I've had a lot of jobs in my life, and my last one was process engineering, which is so weird because I was an art history major. But this is what the corporate world does to you. But I like solving problems, and I like seeing where there's sticking points and solving for things and making things move smoothly and easily. So regardless of the item, it will take you a certain amount of time to list it and post it. It will take you the same amount of time to list and post a $5 item as it will a $500 item. So just think about what your hourly rate is. How much time do you want to spend doing it? Now, decluttering, if you have had clutter piling up for decades, if you have had skills like look around your house, if you have clutter around it, you may need to invest some of your time in knocking down the accumulated clutter of decades. Maybe not, maybe it's just little. But you will need to, on the odds, at the beginning, knock down the pile. And the key is learning how to do that in a way that feels good. So you show up, every day, doing a little bit, and it doesn't seem so bad, and you start to notice the positive, aspects of it. And then learning how to maintain it. Doing the little bit at a time every day. Doing your laundry when the hamper is full versus waiting until you've run out of clothes. Learning to chunk things down as opposed to all or nothing. Saying to yourself, like right here, for example, on a Monday. Hush, Bugs. Hush, I'm trying to talk. On a Monday, you could be like, I'm too busy. I work all week. I can't do anything during the week. So I will leave it all till Saturday and Sunday. Now, that's a way of doing it, but to me, then your Saturday and Sunday is spent doing laundry. Wouldn't you rather go play? I love this. Audrey's saying, hi, I feel so much freer since I started my decluttering journey. I love that you call it a journey. I call it a road trip. I feel incredible, clear-minded, and relaxed. Yeah, and I've been doing so much better. Very cool. That's why I want to help you declutter. That's why I do my one-on-one paid coaching. And even just I show up in my, gym clothes with my goofy Beatles haircut because I need to go to the hair doctor in like a half an hour. No, like in an hour. Because being decluttered feels good. Taking control of something in your life and doing something to make you feel better is a skill worth learning. Yeah, there you go. Pomodoro method for busy days, right? Set your timer. Time for timer. It doesn't have to be a little guy on spindly legs. It could be a little tomato-shaped timer. So decluttering feels good. Decluttering and then being decluttered. Have you ever done that? I used to do this before, even when everything was chaotic, even when you clean off one little area. You declutter your kitchen table, for example. It was piled with stuff, and now the stuff that doesn't belong there isn't there anymore, and you haven't just moved the stuff from place to place, but you've actually dealt with it. And then you wipe down the table, and all it's got is like it's salt and pepper shakers and maybe a little thing of flowers. Doesn't that feel nice to just look at a nice, clean, organized area versus looking at total chaos that's on, the table beforehand, There we go. I love it. Audrey has gone from 40 boxes to 13. Rock on, lady. Yeah, see, Steph just says, I do tend to save decluttering for the weekend, which prevents me from enjoying the weekend. Now, let me help this. Because the way I coach, so I'll just share this with you, this is what I do myself. See this right here? Don't look at the details, but see how I have colors there? Ooh. Color code. Why do I do that? To make sure that I have factored in not just work, but work and play and farting around time and getting stuff done and fun and work. Make time for things and do it every day. So that even on the weekend, even if you do a couple of hours of decluttering on a Saturday, you can feel good about what you did and then go out and play. This is how I coach. This is how I live. And it is working so good for me. I just want to share it as like an idea that you could do this too. Yeah. Boyfriend has noticed and pointed out when you have ADHD or ADD, it used to be so bad. Yeah. So even with ADHD, even with ADD, even with the current habits you have, you can change them. And you're going to do it. If you're hanging out with me, you're going to do it in a way that feels right, feels good to you. We make it easy. We make it simple. I do not overcomplicate things. If anything, I try to keep things so freaking simple. Like, for example, yeah, and I mean, look at it. AJE, etc. says silverware drawer is the happiest decluttered area. Every time you open it up, and notice how when you have a silverware drawer, you do that so you can easily find stuff. You can easily open it up, grab a spoon, use the spoon, wash the spoon, put the spoon back in. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Being decluttered makes your life easier, simpler, calmer, good feeling-er. Notice these things. Okay, oops, I hit the wrong button. Happiness Naturally says, I resonated with your rear view mirror video. Have you done any other content on the planning notebook? It's pretty simple. It's so simple. Yes, I have actually. So for my TikTok, I don't know if I've done it on a TikTok because I tend to save the good stuff for my people on the mailing list. My mailing list is free, so I don't feel bad about that. I also have one-on-one paying clients, and we go deep into this. But it's as simple as taking your notebook. Here, I'll do it right now, wicked quick. Get your notebook. Seriously, I was at Target yesterday. These ones are like $1.39. You're worth it. Write down today's date, and then here, start with like 6 a.m., skip a line 7, skip a line 8. You can basically go from 6 to like 9 p.m. Now, I'm not suggesting that you get up at 6 and you work till 9. No. But what you're doing is each one of these numbers is like an hour in the day. And then, literally, make a map. Block out. What are you doing between 6 and 7? What are you doing between 7 and 8? Do not block it up, though. Put the important stuff in and allow space for just cruising around. It's as simple as that. And then what you do is you get your notebook. I mean, seriously, this to me. So this to me was I did 4 days in one because it was a long weekend and I knew there were certain days we weren't going to do stuff. See how messy this is? See, today I've got like stuff and then here and then a little space here and then I've got a big old area here and then I've got coaching and then I've got a thing to do tonight. And I've got some stuff to do here and I wrote down some stuff to do here. Getting in the habit of writing things down in one place. Not overly complicating it. I could, seriously, you guys, you've seen them. I could make money if I wanted to by creating a complicated notebook and with little check marks and things like that. I've seen them. But buying the notebook doesn't help you do the thing. So what I would rather have you do, because I also don't want you to invest in something that you're not going to use. This is why I myself use these wire-bound notebooks from, I think these are from Staples. Oh, it's so funny. I just thought about this. Yeah. I got a bunch of these at the back-to-school time last year because they were literally like 50 cents a piece, so I stocked up. And I've been using them because every day is a page, and when it's done, I cross things off, I write it down in my book, I tear it out, and I throw it away, and I start the next day. And then I start, the next day. I've done tutorials for that, working workshops for people on the mailing list, and usually I will put the recording up. I might do that at some point. Yeah, I might. But it can be wicked simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Write down some stuff, get it done, feel good about it. Okay? And when you look back, as I said, with the rear view mirror, accentuate the positive. That's why I have my other book. It's not with me now. It's in the house of the stuff that I did yesterday that was good, the good stuff that happened. Because good stuff is going to happen. Sad stuff's going to happen too. It's called working. There we go. Only seem to declutter an hour or two on weekend. Cool, that's better than nothing. Every little bit helps is kind of one of my mantras, okay? Seriously. Okay, when you have a lot of clutter, how do you get the pile down and stay motivated? A little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. It's how it accumulated. So that's how you decumulate it. I just invented that. A little bit at a time. Yeah. Because you're going to declutter. You want to get decluttered. I just saw Cat Mama. I saw your comment about, I'm tired of bumping into and tripping over my mother's stuff. Yes. What is going to make you, I'm not saying this accusingly. I feel like I need to back off. I'm legit just curious. And you don't have to answer me, but I want you to answer this question for yourself. What is going to make you ready to start to declutter? Cat Mama is, sometimes you're decluttering somebody else's stuff. Sometimes it's just a frustration level of not wanting to live with that amount of stuff anymore. What's going to get you started? Now, when I coach, this is why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered. Maybe this will help you to figure this out, is having a destination in mind, like a road trip. What do I want my home to look like? So down the road, it looks cluttered now, but down the road, what do I want my home to look like? I don't want it to look cluttered. I want it to look fill in the blank. Fill in the blank like playing Mad Libs. Remember those in the 70s? I want it to look like adjective, adjective, adjective. I want to feel this. What am I going to do? I'm going to verb. What do I want it to look like? How do I want it to function? And how do I want to feel in my home? Those three questions, you write those down, that's what you're aiming for. And the feeling part is the most important part, but it's the one we tend to forget even exists. There we go. Barbara Dean, this is fun. Barbara Dean says, I set alarms on the Alexa for every time your lives are on. What a cool idea. I have them posted in case anybody's interested. These TikTok lives that I do that are scheduled, there's a schedule posted and pinned at the top of my TikTok live, my TikTok page. I will let you know that I only have them scheduled this week until the 11th. I may do some pop-ups because we're going away for a few days, and if I have time and I feel like it, I may do that. But I don't overpromise and underprovide. I'd rather underpromise and then surprise you with a pop-up. Okay? Yeah. I love it. Having an appreciation for the things you actually mean. Yeah, okay, Reblexa. Okay, I have too many notebooks already. Yeah, then pick one of them. I know this about you because I know it about myself. We think, ooh, a fresh start. That notebook with the inspirational saying on it. I'm going to use that, right? And we buy it, and then we start something, and we stop, and then we feel bad, and then it's one of those ones that it's hard to pull out the pages, so then we leave it there, and then we say, oh, damn it, I ruined that one. Now it's not good. So then you go buy another one. You think that the buying of something does not solve your problem. It can help, but it only helps if you use it like a tool. This is a tool in your toolkit. I talk about creating your toolkit, like the toolkit in the back of your car in case you get in trouble. So you have something you can use if you get stuck. There we go. Yeah, GGX2000 says writing it in one place is a game changer for me because I was the post-it queen. Getting in the habit of putting things in one place makes it easier for you to go then find where that thing is that you wrote down, the thing you wanted to do. Now, I will admit to you, I tend to write things down in two places. Either if I'm at my desk near my notebook, I will write it down in my notebook. But other times I'm on my phone or on my computer. So I have a place on my phone. I use an app called Trello that I just put the things that I want to remember and things to do. And then I don't just set it and forget it, Ron Popeil. I write it down and then I go back to the things I wrote down and I do the things. And when I don't do the things, I don't beat myself up. I get curious why I haven't done it, and then I chunk it down. Okay? I say all this to you because I want to help you learn that you can do these things. It's not magic. It's not rocket science. The magic happens, I will say this, when you start to realize that you can create the home that looks and feels and functions like you want to. And then when you do that, you're going to realize you have a power, and you're like, what else can I change? What else do I want to happen? And you can use the same process. You know? Yeah, and actually, Erin is saying your notebook schedules remind me of bullet journaling. I like that. Both are flexible and simple. Yeah, seriously. I do a lot of, I remember when bullet journaling was like a thing, and I was like, oh, I kind of do that already, because I don't journal like, dear diary, I saw Cliff today. He's so dreamy. No, I tend to write the date, and then I say, what's some good stuff that I made happen in my life, and what are some good things that I made happen, like for my business. That's how I have two columns. When I saw people making a big deal out of bullet journaling, selling you specific bullet journal things, making you do it a certain way, I don't like to make things too fussy. So to me, keep it simple, and the simpler it is, the more likely you're going to do. If it becomes too complicated, the barrier to entry is just too high for me. You know? Carla, nice to see you. Carla is saying, oh, so good. I just saw you popping up. One-on-one coaching equals getting to the heart of the matter and your heart-mind connection in it. Damn, lady, you sound awesome. You sound like you're enjoying. I know you're enjoying our coaching, and so am I, because it is. It's getting to the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter. What was that? The Eagles or Don Henley or something like that. It's going below the surface and getting to what's underneath, so you have a better understanding of how the clutter built up. And also, when you learn from history, you're less likely to repeat it. So if you know what got you cluttered and you realize you didn't like being cluttered, you may be more likely to then get in the habit of changing your habits so you don't reclutter again. You know? Okay, let's go. Lex says, I feel very accomplished, yet there's so much more. Yes, there is. But that's okay. That's okay. There will always be things through the windshield, but don't forget to look back. I mean, think about it. Think about looking at a map if you're on a road trip. Again, if I was at my desk, I would have a map next to me, but it's so nice out and it's not too humid yet. I want to come outside to do this. Think of driving across the U.S. Pretend I have a map of the United States in my hands, right? You're starting on the East Coast and you want to get to California. You're driving along, there's a lot of places. Of course, there's a lot of miles ahead of you, but every time you drive forward, there are fewer miles ahead of you and there are more miles behind you. So you look back and you're like, oh my God, I'm not there yet. It's crazy. There's so much to do. But then you say, wait a minute, I'm halfway across the country already. I just drove through multiple states. I am on my way. Sure, I'm not there yet. And there is kind of a nebulous thing. The wonderful thing about having a destination is that it just gives you something to aim for. I'm a decluttering life coach. It's not like, yay, I'm done. Now I don't have to do it anymore. It's more like, yay, I knocked down my clutter to a manageable level, and now every day I just practice maintaining it for a little bit at a time. Okay, there we go. There we go, people. Good stuff. Yay. Alrighty, so what else do we got here? I'm trying to think. I'm just backing up here. Carla, yeah, I just saw you. There we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, interesting. Michelle says, I feel like it's blowing up a pool float. You wonder if it's really blowing up, and then ta-da! Yeah, it's a little bit at a time. Every breath adds to getting that pool float. Every penny adds up to $1. Every little step you take, Bobby Brown, every little step you take gets you one step closer. And this is the thing. You can step in any direction. You can use your energy and your time and not get anywhere. What a destination helps you discover is what you want to aim for, so that you can walk in the right direction, so you can drive in the right direction. Okay? There we go. Somebody's got a crawling baby coming soon. You got to scramble to clear up and baby-proof. Yes, sometimes that's your destination. You have an external deadline. I got to get this stuff done before, the baby gets here. I got to do this because we're moving. I got to do this because, but other times, seriously, do not discount the fact that, you can decide at any point that it's time for you to declutter because you're just sick of the stuff. You're sick of living like you're living now and you want to do something different. Very cool stuff, you guys. Carla is saying, for me, one-on-one, my mental is a total connection with the things and the amount of them. Yeah. There's a story behind the things. There's a quantity of things. There's a story behind the fact that there's a quantity of things in your home. I know I have it myself. So it was funny. I noticed, and sometimes you don't even notice the things. I'm a noticer. Again, I think it was because I was an art history major. So you were taught, and a photography major as well, to look for the details, to really notice the stuff, to sit with something long enough that you saw patterns, that you saw this is how they made paintings in the day. This is the things. And the more you look at things, the more a pattern reveals itself. Now, I crack up about this, honestly, you guys, because sometimes I don't notice it until it has happened. That, for example, I went into, during COVID, I think it was, I got into a really big bright pink phase. I saw things that were bright pink. It cheered me up. I wanted cheery colors. And I said in the video yesterday, oh my gosh, it's so funny. I've got pink and orange in my pajamas. I've got a pink notebook. I've got pink is in the robe I was wearing. Now I'm out on my patio. No lie. Check it out. I was in the pool yesterday. Friends have a pool. I bought, this kind of thing. And this is a pink umbrella. Sometimes you don't notice your habits until it's right in your face. I had no idea that I piled up my mail until it was piled up and it fell over. Noticing what you did gives you the ability to then say, do I want to continue doing that, or do I want to do something else? Now, I didn't want to be too matchy-matchy, so I've realized I want to kind of back off on the pink. So I've introduced some new colors in my palette. Some orange, some aqua, some lime green. That's always my palette anyway. Noticing your habits allows you to decide whether you want to keep them or do something different. Okay? So Susie brings up a really great question. What if it is other people's clutter you want rid of, like husband and adult children? Well, I love this because they're adults, all of them. This is where I get to get on my soapbox and say, decluttering is a life skill. Everybody, husbands, adult children, little children, children of all ages, should know how to declutter, should know how to and take care of their own stuff. But here's something I just want to mention. That being said, if you don't know how to declutter your own stuff, you aren't going to probably be initially the best teacher. If you don't know how to take care of your own stuff, you're not going to be a credible resource. Why would I trust you to teach me to do it if you don't know how to do it yourself? This is one of the reasons why I teach decluttering. And the wonderful thing is when I teach it to you, then you learn a system. Then you understand a framework behind it. Then you practice your skills. Sometimes you decluttering your own stuff might inspire other people. Also, you decluttering your own stuff can allow you the opportunity to have the conversations with people about, hey, I want you to do something with your stuff, or what are you going to do with your stuff? Now, it's going to come out a little bit nicer than that, but it should not fall to one person in the home to take care of everybody's stuff. I call bullshit on that. It typically falls to the mom, to the wife, to just the female in the house. And when kids are growing up, but even when kids are growing up, learning how to take care of your clutter, if we all learned this, you guys, if we all learned this when we were growing up, I wouldn't be doing a TikTok live. You wouldn't be watching a TikTok live on clutter because you already know how to do it. I'm not going to watch a tutorial on something I already know how to do. I'm going to go seek help with stuff I'm struggling to do, and I'm going to get help with it. So I say this, Susie. Notice that they have their own stuff and be aware of that, but work on yourself first. Work on you dealing with your stuff, and when you do that, you will better be able to describe to them how to do this. Alrighty. Yep, don't allow it in your places. There we go. Alright, what do we get? Rainbow Butterfly says, I need to declutter, but I see things as sentimental items, so it's hard for me to get rid of them. Okay, Rainbow Butterfly, you're not alone in that. This is what I like to say, though, is, trust me, I'm sentimental as the next person. Look at your stuff. Not everything is as sentimental as you think it is. I betcha not everything in your house is as sentimental as you think it is. Sure, there are sentimental items, and yes, everything you have in your house probably has a story, but is it sentimental? So think of everybody, not just Rainbow Butterfly. Think of your clutter in 3 layers. It's funny that the sun is coming out. Not that I don't mind it, it's just getting my eyes. Think of your clutter in 3 layers. You've got the surface layer, just the stuff that's on top, the stuff that's like, I went to Target yesterday, I didn't unpack my bag, there's the mail that's on the top of that, there's some dirty dishes on the counter. Anything that's on a horizontal surface that doesn't really belong on that horizontal surface could be considered surface clutter. Then you've got another layer. You've got what I call stored clutter, surface to stored. Stored clutter is stuff that's in your drawers, your silverware drawer, your bureau drawer, your dresser drawer, the drawers in your kitchen or bathroom. And that's where you probably have a quantity of things that you think you're going to use, but are you using them? They probably have stories. I mean, I think of opening up a t-shirt drawer, and that's like t-shirts you wear, but each t-shirt, reminds you of something. Then there's sentimental. The stuff that you only save that because it has a sentimental story behind it, This is crazy. I just thought of this. I have a sentimental item in my, it's a double sentimental item. I have like a 1950s hand mixer with aqua handles in it that we got from a friend who thought of me because he was cleaning out his mom's house and he knows I like vintage stuff and that type of thing. This is a friend of ours that just passed away literally yesterday. So it's doubly sentimental. But I will say this, I kept it because it was cute, but also because we use it. But even today, if I decided to get to donate that egg beater to somebody, I would never forget my friend. So yeah, sentimental. The stories behind your stuff is what keeps you hanging on to them. But that means you can change the story if you want to let it go. Okay? Yep. So notice these things. Yep. Out of sight, out of mind. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I didn't mean to bring it up. It's okay. But you know what? I'm a human. These things are going to happen. I bet you have stuff in your home that makes you, that reminds you of somebody who's not with you anymore. We all do. That's a lot of what the sentimental is. And sometimes we get afraid of getting rid of things or donating things because they were once owned by somebody who's not around. So Annie Mae is saying, how would you change the story? I would say this. Okay, I'll use the, I'll use the egg beater. If I really didn't use it, if it was not a useful item for me, because I don't beat eggs and it was taking up room that I didn't need, I would say, hey, you know what? I know Pete gave this to me, but I will never forget Pete, and I will always love him. He lives on in my heart, and he lives on in my memories. I don't need to keep this egg beater to prove as evidence of my love for my friend who's no longer here. I would also say, so I can release the item but still keep the story of his love for me as a friend in my heart. The other thing, too, is I would look at it and say, I'm not using this egg beater, but it still works well. Maybe there's somebody out there who really wants to beat some eggs with this vintage thing. It may not be the thing that I'm using because I don't cook a lot of scrambled eggs. If I donate this to someplace else or sell it or ask a friend if they want it, maybe somebody else is there going, man, I've been looking for one of those. Thank you. So the things that I have that don't work for me could be just the thing for somebody else. And at the end of the day, you know what? Pete got that from his mother's house because he was cleaning out his mother's house because his mom died. He just died yesterday. we're still kind of in shock. Somebody's going to have to clean out his house with his stuff. I have some of his stuff, like we have some of his stuff, because my husband had borrowed a guitar. Somebody's going to have to clean out your home for your stuff. How hard do you want to make that job for somebody else? If you're not going to do it for yourself, if you're like, oh, I'm fine, doesn't matter to me, somebody else, when you die, is going to have to clean out your house. Don't make it harder on that person. They're going to be already struggling with grief and loss. I know I have a couple of people here, Carla, I'm thinking of you, Cat Mama, that are literally showing up to my TikToks because they are dealing with somebody else's stuff. That those people, for whatever reason, could not handle the Swedish death cleaning, as as the book says. So do yourself and other people a favor. And I'm doing this now. This is why I started doing the decluttering coaching, because I don't want to leave it to somebody else. And I just want my life to be easy in my 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I don't want to start this when I'm 80. I want to live an easier, simpler, less cluttered life ASAP. Okay? Yeah. Hey, Lori Hannah. Nice to see you. Decluttering for a year, but life got crazy. Life does get crazy. Thought it was bad, but it was easy to clean and declutter. Yeah. Yeah, you invest time. It's not as bad as you think. And life will throw you curveballs, and there will be time when you're not going to get stuff done. I mean, even just last week, we didn't get a lot of stuff done we were going to because we had friends visiting. Life is going to happen. Decluttering helps make your life easier. Yeah, Cat Mama, I don't want to leave stuff for my nieces and nephews. Humble Bee is saying, my parents' home was physically and emotionally exhausting. So don't make your own home physically and emotionally exhausting for people who have to clean it up for you, or for you right now. How can you make your home the opposite? Instead of being physically and emotionally exhausted in your home, how about feeling physically calm, rested, powerful, excited? Put in your adjective. Unpack your adjectives. How do you want to feel in your home? And if you're not feeling that way right now, how about this? Write down what you're feeling right now that's kind of crappy, and then flip it to the other side. What's the opposite? Okay, Beth, I never know what corner to start on. I freeze and get nothing done. Just frickin' start, she says lovingly to a fellow Beth. It is as easy as just getting started. When you notice yourself freezing with the unhelpful words in your head, I don't know where to start, it really doesn't matter where you start. Or how about this? Start with the easiest stuff. Start with your surface clutter. Start with trash. Anything that categories. Trash goes in the trash barrel. Recycling goes in the recycling bin. Stuff that you want to donate goes in a box. Stuff that you want to keep goes wherever it belongs. If you don't have a home for things, find a home for it. Look, I just helped you start. This is one of the things that I do one-on-one coaching, Yeah, I know this will make my parents' house working on make mine different. Yeah, how do I start? You start, first of all, by reminding yourself you can start. Calming down your nervous system, calming down your internals that are saying, I don't know how do I start? You calm your loving heart down and you say, it doesn't matter where we start. The most important thing is just to start, and to start small and to start easy is the easiest way to get started. What's the easiest thing to do for you today? Lacey and Beth C., put it in the comments. Where's a place in your home today that would be easy for you to spend 15 minutes, set a timer, 15 minutes, and declutter in that one area? You can write it in the comments. Decide on yourself. Decluttering, as I said, is a life skill. Decluttering, really, the secret ingredient, it's not even a secret. The main ingredient of decluttering is decision-making. Decluttering, decision-making. Deciding what you want to think. Deciding where you want to start. Deciding what you're aiming for. If you're not used to making decisions, if you're used to being paralyzed by stuff, making decisions is going to feel like I do after I just went for this workout this morning and I moved muscles I didn't even know I had. It may feel weird at first, but the more you do it, the stronger you get at it. Okay? Bobby is saying, you are helping me as I continue making it the way I want it to be in my space. Thank you, Bobby. Awesome. I'm glad I'm helping. This is why. It's the only reason I show up. Seriously. I mean, honestly, I could be like, if you want me to be your coach, you could sign up for a consultation. But I think I have like one consultation slot on my schedule for the entire month. It's because I'm going away next week. I'm going to a conference, and I haven't put them on for later in the month. So I'm here to help, whether you're my paid client or not. Now, paid coaching allows us to both go deeper to discover what's jamming you up in a nice, safe, supported, just one-on-one environment. You may not want to get into it with other people. But yeah, decluttering feels good. Being decluttered feels good. You can do this. Talking to yourself nicer. Instead of saying, I don't know where to start, you can start anywhere. I can't do this. Yes, you can. So notice these things. Jackie, Beth has helped me so much. Awesome. Love it, you guys. Seriously. Okay. All right. There we go. Lisa being Lisa. Lisa's going to Lisa, huh? You know what? I have a horrible habit of shopping a lot when I'm depressed. I got rid of things and build it back. I get rid of things and build it back up. Yeah. Notice that. You have a habit of when you feel bad, thinking that shopping is going to make you feel better. It's kind of like, I think about this with like shopping and gaining weight. It's like the things we do to make ourselves feel better, and then like we think eating is going to make us feel better. This is just me talking to me. But then sometimes it doesn't make us feel better because then we've gained weight and we feel bloppy. Noticing that habit you have when you're feeling depressed and saying, why am I depressed? What can I do instead of trying to go kind of, mask it with something? What can I do to examine why I'm feeling depressed here? And what can I do to change to make myself feel better that isn't the habit of shopping? Notice we're stopping that. We're disrupting the pattern. It's a pattern disrupt. To stop that pattern of shopping when you're depressed and to experiment with doing something else. It is a habit. And habits can be changed, okay? So, yeah, not shopping on emotions. Yes, and sitting there with emotions. We're told not to feel them, or we're told by people who want to sell us something, come buy our product, and our product will make you feel better. And it may work for like a couple of seconds or a few minutes or something, but the long-term the long-term feeling isn't going to go away because you bought something at Target. Yeah, okay, here's an interesting thing. So talking about donating to kids, notice why they start crying. Your kids are feeling emotions. Get curious why they are crying. Are they afraid they're never going to have any more toys? Do they also, maybe you reframe it and you say, in a really nice way though, like there are kids out there who don't have any toys. You're not getting rid of this. What you're doing is you're sharing what you have because you are so lucky to have more toys than you play with. Getting people comfortable at every age with letting go when they have too much. And too much is an arbitrary number. It's a number up to you. But knowing that it's okay to let go of stuff and you're not going to die. Okay? Okay, so Humble Bee, I now deny myself things I want because of the guilty clutter I've been procrastinating about. Okay, so how about this? Stop procrastinating about the clutter. Declutter yourself. Don't feel guilty. And then buy yourself a little something. It's all about balance, people. It really is. It's not about all or nothing. About, all of this and none of that. It's about working the decluttering and the stuff into the fabric of your life. Yeah, shopping was a stress reliever when I was working a tough job. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, see, Joyfully Me is showing what happens when you procrastinate. I will say, so it says, so glad you're here. I've procrastinated my efforts, and now I have to do a lot before a family visit. Yes. The sooner you start this, the sooner you're prepared for expected and unexpected visitors. We had expected visitors last week. Friends of ours asked us a month ago if they could come and visit us, and immediately we could say, yeah, no problem. And leading up to the day that they came, we were like, yeah, I know, we got to probably inflate the aero bed, put the sheets on it, maybe swipe some, we'll do some dusting and vacuuming that we should do anyways for ourselves. It was so easy to say yes to them and to just get the house ready for them. It wasn't the freak out that it used to be. Now, so notice that it just makes your life so much easier to declutter. I know I'm not saying it the best today, maybe because I'm tired because we, got the news from about my friend, but I just got to tell you, it's just so lovely to not have to deal with that stuff. And to just spend your time, I don't know, more time scrolling on TikTok if you want and not worrying about having to do other stuff. Yeah, they truly have more things than they could ever possibly play with. Get them used to having less. They say there's studies out there, I'm not going to quote them, but there are studies out there that show kids get overwhelmed with too much stuff. They don't even know what to play with because they have so many toys. It's like, it's this one, it's this one, it's this one, it's this one. You know yourself. When you have 80 million things to choose from, which one do I pick? There's that book about the overwhelm of choice or something. Kids can be overwhelmed. The fewer things you have, the easier your life is. Now, I'm not saying turn into monks and only have one thing, But there's a big difference between having one toy and 5 million toys and finding that set point that feels good and it's easy to maintain. That all of their toys fit in whatever homes there are, and they keep them in there, and you don't buy any more toys until until you remove some. Noticing that kind of like, we're not going to buy new groceries until we work through our old groceries. That type of thing. Yeah, Humblebee, noticing you have an all or nothing and perfectionism mindset, you can work to change that. You're saying that's such a barrier. You can lower the barrier by noticing when you start to go all or nothing and perfect, and you say, no, we're going to do some, and we're going for better. And we're going to get some done, and we're going to feel better about it, and some and better, and some and better. It's all or nothing, and it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nothing. Okay. All right, here's the thing, Danielle. I always feel guilty doing watercolors because I feel like I should be cleaning and organizing. Cleaning, to me, that's a whole nother ball game. Decluttering makes it easier to clean your house, though. But notice the guilt. If you have decluttered, first of all, if you want to do a massive declutter and deny yourself your painting and then feel good about when you're painting, or you can choose to say, I'm going to declutter for an hour and I'm going to feel good about that, and I'm going to paint for an hour and I'm going to feel good about that. Because when you feel good, the more you feel good every day, the more your life just rocks. It does. And, oops. Oh, TikTok, you're always telling me live will end in 5 minutes. Well, it's going to end sooner than that because I have a haircut to go to. Did you notice? I get nothing in my hair here. Oi. Yeah, see, I like your second idea better. Notice which one feels better. So today and this week, Danielle, do some decluttering. Yes, choose to feel good about what you did. It's a thing you did that made you feel good. Write it down. I decluttered for an hour on Monday. And then I painted for an hour on Monday. And then I decluttered for an hour on Tuesday. And I painted for an hour on Tuesday. And lather, rinse, repeat. Not every day. Excuse me, I just spit. Not every day is going to be the same. It's not. We are not machines. We are not robots. We are not conveyor belts. Every day looks a little bit different. So be flexible. Work with what you have, but always factor in fun along with your decluttering. It's not an either or. It's a yes and. Okay? Yeah. Think about it. Carly is saying, if you think about it, how many times do I walk into my house with something versus taking it out? Yeah, I've gotten into the habit with my husband of, anytime it's like, okay, when you're going into the other room, bring this. As you're going out to the car, doing this. I'm always trying to, if I'm going down the basement, I'm going to bring something down, even if, that type of thing. Yeah, it's a really, I don't know. It's a really cool thing. You are worth it. I'm going to sign off momentarily because I have a haircut to do and I have a consultation. I got to take a shower and I've got coaching and I got to pick up some dry cleaning. But what I want to leave you with is this. You are worth it. If you're not feeling good in your home because of clutter, you are worth feeling better in your home. And one of the ways you can feel better in your home is to learn how to deal with your clutter. It is not difficult to do this. It is a life skill that you just don't know yet. It's like when you used to not know how to drive your car. My coaching can teach you that. My videos, the TikTok lives that are on Decluttered, Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Being on the mailing list is going to help. All these things are going to help. But what they do is they can only get you so far. You have to take the action, but you've got to want to. So just let yourself know you're worth it. And if you're not feeling like you want to do it for yourself, do it for the people that are going to have to clean up for you after you're gone. But I'd much rather you do it now so you can see, just like I have, you can discover how awesome it feels to just not have to spend all your time decluttering. You get to flop down and read a book or paint a painting or write a song and not feel like, oh, I really should be cleaning up that stuff, because the stuff's not there to tidy up because you already did it and you've changed your habits, so you just are not a cluttered person anymore. And this is a skill you can share with people, your friends, your family. I don't care. Spread the word. I don't gatekeep the stuff, because I know that we all will feel better when we know we can do stuff to change the things that bug us. Okay? So I got my day planned. Do you? Maybe the first thing you do when I sign off right now is get yourself a notebook, or even just write down on a piece of paper, what are some things you want to get done today? I can cross off that. I can cross off this. I got to go get myself ready for my hair. And I'm looking forward to what I'm doing today, the pace I'm going at, the fact that I've got stuff I have to do and want to do and get to do, and there's space in between them. So the space and the pace feels wonderful. All right. I'm doing a TikTok live tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. because I have an 8 o'clock client. 7 a.m. tomorrow. I will see you if you're up that early. If not, you know what to do. Drive towards your dreams and learn how to be decluttered. Okay? Bye-bye.